Hi, friends. Have you ever wanted to know that you had this extra guidance in life? Have you ever thought to yourself it'd be really cool to have an experience that you know that there are angels or ancestors or spirit around you at all times giving you guidance through each part of your life? Well, you can. This is a very easy process to do, and anybody and everybody has guides around them, and it doesn't matter what you call them. Some people would just pray to, Mother Mary or Jesus. I particularly call on Holy Spirit just because I am a Course of Miracles student, and so that's what is all encompassing for me. But no matter what you call it, we all can connect, and I want to help guide you on how to connect with your spirit guides today. Okay, before we start connecting with the spirit realms, the first thing you want to do is set an intention. So, and let go of expectations. What you think you've heard of what connecting to spirit guides would be like, and you taking ayahuasca and all your ancestors, get rid of all of that thought process and just set an intention that you want to start connecting with spirit, and have no expectations on the way that may look for you. Okay, next. This is the hard part for me, definitely, is no distractions. Okay, so you want to set up, a spiritual practice, something that you do on a regular basis. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a daily spiritual practice other than most mornings I wake up and I say, Holy Spirit, please guide me today. Quick, easy, we're going on to the rest of our day. But it is good to have something that you go back to every single time when you want to connect to your spirit guides, especially when you're first starting off. Like, there has to be some kind of appointment that you set up with them. When I'm doing a card reading for the collective or individual, I have a certain meditation that I listen to. It's a 10-minute meditation. It clears my energy, and so that is my ritual for that. And then for my everyday, since I've been doing this for a while now, learning to speak to spirit or hear spirit speak to me, my best way is to set time aside so that I can meditate and connect, even if it's 5 minutes. But let's say I don't do that. Let's say I don't get up in the morning and do my 5-minute best routine of the day for a spiritual person. I talk to spirit like I'm talking to anybody. I am somebody that talks to myself quite often. I have always done this since I was a child. I'm having discussions or going over, I probably look crazy all my life, but I'm going over certain scenarios in my head. So once I started really setting the intention that I wanted to connect with spirit, I just started talking to spirit that way. So if I go out to the garage and I'm like, where are those towels I was looking for? I'm thinking in my mind, I'm asking spirit for where those towels are. And then as soon as I see the towels, I thank spirit. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. I do a lot of gratitude and thank you. And it's a regular thing. So if you already are somebody that talks to yourself a lot, switch it up and you're no longer talking to yourself. You're speaking to your guides or Holy Spirit or Jesus itself. Maybe not tell everybody you're speaking to Jesus. But that's how I usually do it. That's how I am. I just speak. I'm talking to spirits or anything that can hear me. I'm constantly, especially when I'm in chaotic moments, I will say, okay, Holy Spirit, you got to help me here. You got to help me see things differently. I ask for spirit to change my perception of what my ego mind is telling me right now. I don't ask them to change the outcome. It's fine if the outcome changes, but I really want to change the way that I feel and the way that I'm looking at it, because of my studies, think that's the way that life starts to shift, is when you're changing the way that you look at things. Like I mentioned previously, meditation is very important, especially at first when you're trying to connect to your spirit guides. So you want to have some moments of stillness or feel those moments. Like, I've had a lot of people tell me that it's hard for them to meditate. And so that's when you want to consistently do it, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. If you're really trying to connect with your guides, if you want to be in a different state. And when I mean different state, I remember the first time I started meditating and I had an angel meditation, and I was outside and I remember just my eyes were closed. First of all, everything was pink and golden, and there was this calmness and stillness that came over me. And that's where you want to get to. It's not always easy, especially if your mind is always going off, but we want to concentrate on trying to be a little bit more still if possible. I don't do that every day. I just speak to my guides like anybody that would be in the room. And I'm one to ask for signs or directions or pivots. Like, if something doesn't happen that you expected to happen, I have the mindset that that's protecting me. My guides have pivoted me in a different directions. Or my problem, this is a problem, For me is I'll ask my spirit guides, like, show me a giraffe if I'm supposed to reach out to this person. And so then I'll see a giraffe or I won't see a giraffe, but I'll forget why I wanted to see the giraffe in the first place. So if you're like me and have mommy brain or premenopausal brain, you're going to want to write that down and say, okay, I asked spirit to show me this. That's my best indicator. Also, I'm somebody that sees a lot of combinations of numbers. So that also is something that usually is guiding me. But release those expectations of what connecting with your spirit guides are going to look like. That's what it looks like for me. That's what's shown up for me. I connect and just talk every single day. Like, that's my best friend. Holy Spirit, please help me in the morning. Guide me. I try to always tune in because I'm always tuned in to spirit and where it's going to be. Or, you know, I have a mind training of trying to pivot my mind out of being, taking things personally. So a lot of the times for me, and this could happen over the process of you learning to connect with your spirit's guides, is that as a chaotic situation comes up, I usually hear an inner voice saying they're just trying to connect with you with love. If, let's say, my son comes into the room and he's irritating with me with something and I'm just not in the mood for it, I will get an attitude, and then I'll hear this voice saying it's just a call for love. A lot of the times that's my inner voice. It's a call for love to snap me back in to, okay, how I can still be aggravated. I can still want to break, but how am I going to do it without being a bee I got an itch, right? So that's very important as well. Learning to get still, being humble on how you might be guided. If you get guidance, take the guidance. Like, I'm more of a person when I'm getting guidance from spirit or life in general, I kind of look at it as like a book and it's unfolding. It's giving me a different story each time or a different direction to go in. So I just kind of look at life and see what happens for that day or in that moment. And okay, this is what's presented to me. How do I show up in the kindest, loving way, but still have boundaries, right? So that's kind of how I'm constantly connecting. Also, you know, a lot of times people call out to spirit when they're in chaos, right? They're like, you know, help me spirit with my job situation, or help me spirit with my relationship situation. And sometimes by that chaos that's going in your life, whether it be career or family or whatever, that is the blessing that's been sent to you. Because sometimes when you need to get through things, like let's say you keep having a shitty boyfriend and you're like, please help me with this, you got to get tired enough to stand up for yourself. So spirit has sent you another opportunity so that you could stand up for yourself and go, I'm not going to handle, like, I'm not going to deal with this. This is not part of my life. So sometimes that you have to just be grateful in the lesson. Like, why does this keep happening? What did I do last time that's not working this time? I'm very much like a realist in that way. I'm practical, but I'm very woo-woo when it comes to the spirit side, because okay, this has been presented to me. Have I dealt with this before? How did I deal with it last time? Did it work for me? If it didn't work for me, what is another avenue of how I can defeat this problem, I guess you could say. And sometimes spirit are giving you, or sometimes that's what life's about. It's giving you some chaos so that you can work through the chaos. Not necessarily for the chaos to be taken away from you, unfortunately. Because I would like things to be solved, but when usually I'm gonna just, I think this is the sprinkle. This is the, I don't even know how to say it. This is the good stuff. Is when you're asking spirit to see things differently. Like, you want to change your perception. You're the one that has the goggles on. I speak about this over and over again. So you want to change your perception in something. That doesn't mean letting somebody get away with something, or, you know, oh, you know, they had a bad childhood, so they're allowed to hit me or some BS like that. No. But change the way that you're looking at it so that you can release it and move on to the next challenge. Because, you know, one thing that life will present you is challenge. And it's great to connect with spirit to help you go through it, but it's the way that you view your life every day and how you're connecting. So every day I get up, I say, Holy Spirit, please guide me. I let my day just kind of unfold. I'm constantly talking to spirit all day long. Like under my breath, as I'm talking to myself, I'm having a conversation with spirit all day long. It's part of my day. And then I just see how spirit might bring a phone call to me, or might bring a new client to me, or somebody, you know, needs my help for something, or I just look at what happens, or there's a chaotic situation with my, family. Okay, well, why is this here? What do I need to work out? Do I need to do anything? Do I need to get involved? That's how I kind of let spirit unfold. And then I'll ask instead of always acting. I can be somebody that like has a lot of action, and sometimes I just sit back and wait and see what unfolds on its own. I don't always have to do something. So I hope all of these pointers help you connect with spirit so that you have a idea of what you need to do to connect on your own. It's very, very simple. As soon as I started kind of doing meditations and setting intentions that I wanted to connect with spirit and talking to spirit like it was my buddy, sometimes you'll have mystical things happen. I've had meditations where it's been very mystical, and sometimes this is really boring. It's not that cool. Not everything can be a winner, right? But it is important to constantly connect and be consistent about it, so that you can pick up on the guidance that's already there. A lot of times there's already guidance. All the time there's already guidance going on. You're just not picking up on it. So it's about turning on that radio and tuning it to the right station, and by connecting on a regular basis, by talking and saying thank you anytime there's anything good that just happens to happen. You get a new client, you get somebody pays for your dinner. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. It's always just gratitude, acknowledgement, and let go of the expectations that an angel is going to show up in your living room and like write down exactly what you need to do. That's not what's going to happen. Maybe it will. It hadn't happened for me. Maybe one day. But I hope you get something from this guide.